Hello, America. This is Tim the Talent. I'm here with Case Dog, and we are them dudes over there. We're going to talk about a little something that's taken America by storm. We're going to talk about Colin Kaepernick and his decision not to stand up during the national anthem. I mean, is it right? Is it wrong? We're going to cover the bases and let you know what we think about it. Case Dog, what's up, man? Is this a big deal, or are we just getting all upset over nothing?
Personally, I just feel like everybody getting upset over nothing. We got bigger issues going on in the world right now than an NFL player deciding not to stand up for the national anthem. When he was injured that entire time, he wasn't standing anyway. But since he was in uniform now, everybody seems to notice, oh, he's not standing up. This is a big deal. It's not that big of a deal because he has a right to stand or not stand. It's just like if you sitting at home watching a game and they say all rise for the national anthem, do you stand up every time? No, you sit down on the couch and you chill and you don't put your hand over your chest, but ain't nobody beating down your door telling you an un-American and that you don't appreciate this country and all this other stuff.
You know, but what about those people who says, Kaepernick, you're making millions of dollars. You represent the NFL shield. There are impressionable kids and teenagers that are watching you. You got to set a better example, for these children. What do you have to say for people that take that approach?
Why does how much he makes even matter? That shouldn't even matter end of the day. And there's other people in the NFL that's doing way worse than what he's doing right now, probably. But we talking about a guy not standing up for a national anthem that has a verse about slavery in it that they edited out just so we would kind of forget that it's even in there.
Well, some people will say that, hey, it's not the same meaning anymore. They edited that part out. They made adjustments to fit today's society. What do you got to say for people that says that?
It still means the same thing. It doesn't change. It's just like saying the N-word means something different now than what it did back then when most people still classified, it still means that way when you still say it.
People do try to say that. There's
I know, but
there's people in the African American community that say, "Hey,
but when you say it's different, like there's a different way of saying it. Like when you take off the ER and just put the A, like I guess that's more acceptable. I try not to say the word too often, but sometimes it happens. But I mean, do they even make that a necessity in schools anymore? That kids stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance anymore?
Man, I'm old, man. I don't know. When I was in school, we had to pledge the allegiance to the flag.
Yeah, but but the funny thing about that is it says in the Bible you should not idolize, what's it called? Like a symbol or something like that.
Yeah, symbol.
Yeah, but isn't the flag idolizing something?
What about for those who are not Christian, who don't necessarily follow the Bible?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't follow it like that either, but I do know bits and pieces.
There's a lot of people who are atheists, that they could care less about the Bible. And that's one thing that I never really heard. Nobody really asked Colin Kaepernick, like, hey, what's your religion? What's your religious background and so forth? Me personally, I don't know how to feel about what Colin Kaepernick is doing. I think he's the perfect person to have an opinion about it, considering that one of his parents is white, one of his parents is black. So it's not like he's totally biased, like, oh, I'm a black dude, this is racist. I mean, he's looking at it from both dynamics because he had both dynamics, within his household. So he may be looking at it with a clear head and saying, hey, you know what? We were pledging allegiance to this flag. The same people who pledged the allegiance to this flag is also doing injustice to minorities. I'm not with that, because he may feel like the things that you believe in, the things that people believe in when they are pledging their allegiance, it's just not. How should I say this? It's just not people with a good moral code. Some of those people are just evil in nature,
right?
And they also pledge the allegiance to the flag. So it's almost like, you got people with different principles pledging allegiance to something that might not necessarily apply to minorities, so to speak. So I understand where he's coming from with that. I guess the question is, should athletes just be like the company man and put whatever your personal beliefs are to the side and just just play football and not take a political stand. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people in society who look at it as entertainment. You know, like they didn't like any of the basketball players siding with Black Lives Matter or anything like that. You kind of get to sports to forget all of those social injustices.
Right.
And I think with Kaepernick doing what he did, with Beyonce doing what she did at the Super Bowl at halftime, is that white America, and I don't even want to say white America, but I mean, for the lack of a better term, you know, they're looking at these injustices, and you have to look at it when you're supposed to be kicked back, relaxed, enjoying a game. You know, so that could be another stance where they're like, hey, Colin, you know, it's cool, you know, but not during our family time. We're trying to enjoy the game, and you bringing up issues, and we're trying to forget for 4 hours.
Right. But I feel like even with that, it's like you ever notice when like if the media has any opportunity to bash like someone of like a different ethnicity, that's like if something bad happens. Okay, like the Chris Brown incident, for example, how like they was like, oh, he held that girl at gunpoint, this, that, and the other. But then when they found out that old girl was involved in that case in New York for robbing people and stuff, that whole thing just went away. Like the media don't even talk about it now.
Because it's not a story. Like they want to.
But in reality, that is still a story. That's kind of BS. That like, oh, it's a big story because like, oh, Chris Brown could have did this, and then like, oh, he really didn't do it. Oh, okay, well, we're just gonna act like this never happened. Like,
well, I think negative media. You know, negative media is what sells. Like people want to hear negative things. Like I mean, I'm sure Colin Kaepernick has done lots of wonderful things. A lot of charity events.
I've seen a lot of different stuff on Facebook where that he's taking pictures with fans. Like, did you know, like, even with him doing this, the NFL probably still doesn't even care that much because they're like, hold on, he's got the most high-selling jersey now off of him deciding not to stand up.
Yeah.
So either way, the NFL is winning.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I guess to your point, you know, the media don't want to cover, like, you know, if he's doing a good charitable event or anything like that. Right. But nobody wants to hear about that.
It didn't always used to be like that though. Like I know when I was younger, the news would cover good things that other athletes did, or just people did in general, whether they was white, black, Hispanic, or whatever. Like they would report it. Nowadays, it's like everything on the news is like it's just negative and it's like depressing. Like I don't really even watch the news personally.
Yeah, this is you know, I can't blame reality TV, but I think reality TV has blurred the lines between what's real and what's not, what's important and what's not. You know, so people look at Colin Kaepernick and they almost look at him like a reality star where it's like, hey man, you know, you're here to entertain us. Yeah, we're looking at your life. And since you are a reality star, we can criticize and critique things that are going on in your life, you know, because you're coming into our living room, you know, once a week, we can we can criticize and tell you how to live your life. When in actuality, you know, him not standing up for the national anthem is the same. I think it's the same as people who don't vote. I mean, people died for your right to vote. They marched for your right to vote, but they also died and marched for your right not to vote.
Right.
You know, so if you choose not to make a decision or you're indifferent, you don't think a candidate qualifies to actually have your vote. Nobody earned your vote, and you decide not to. You know, that's your right.
But I could understand why like people don't necessarily vote because one, you have to think that's actually that's a topic in itself on its own too. That's really stuff that they should be teaching in school, like the real importance on voting, like actually like putting the research, putting the information into everybody's hand. Like, okay, these are all the issues, and you know, usually they only talk about like the two major issues, and they just slide that one random issue in there that they don't talk about. It'll be something that's actually big, like, oh, we're gonna just slide this in there for the new park fund. Maybe they'll vote yes on that. Nobody will notice that we're gonna tax the heck out of them to make all the parks look nice in Cincinnati. But like, that's the stuff that I feel like we should be getting taught in school. Like, you should be getting taught about how important it is to vote, how do you really go about it, how to find the research, how to like really obtain the information you need in order to understand what you're voting for. Because they make it seem the only time it's a big deal to vote is when you're voting for the president. They don't make it. People don't understand that it's the people underneath the president that you need to vote for also. Like, you can't just go to the box and just be like, Democrat, 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 Democrat. Like, you don't even know, like, just because they're a Democrat don't mean they got your best interests.
True.
Like, those are the things that people don't think about, which is why us as black people, we don't vote like that.
You did bring up a good point of awareness and just knowing. And I guess that's one thing that that Kaepernick did do, because, I mean, to tell you the truth, I didn't know there was racist stuff, you know, in that at all. You know, I didn't know about about what was deleted. I just know.
Oh, I only knew about that off of
yeah, I didn't know.
Facebook. I didn't really. Or maybe he was the one that had mentioned it. I don't know. But.
Yeah, I mean, so he did bring awareness to something, you know, and I can respect the guy that says, hey, you know what, I'm going to do this, and this is why I'm doing it. Right. You know, whether you agree or not, at least he has a reason. That, you know, because there's some things that go on in society
that
where things happen, and I'm like, I don't even know why. You know, I don't know why these things are happening. It's just happening, and we're supposed to just accept it. So the fact that he's like, hey, you know what? This is why I'm doing it. I'm willing to sit down with any soldier, any vet, you know, that is offended by my actions. I'm willing to sit down, chop it up, tell you the perspective that I'm coming from, you know, and for the most part, I haven't heard anybody say anything negative after they sat down and talked with him.
Exactly.
You know, so I'm sure that, you know, he's got principles and viewpoints that he stands by, but at the same time, I mean, I can understand if there's somebody who look at America, you know, look at the flag, like that's the symbol of America. This is what I live, breathe, and this is what I die for. You know, I can understand why they would be upset, because to pledge your allegiance, like I think kids, they say the Pledge of Allegiance, but they don't actually know what it means. You know, yeah, so it seems like to me they're like breeding soldiers, like right from the ground up.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I'm pledging the allegiance. And,
it's just like with I seen something the other day where it was talking about self-consciously. College was always put into the black community's mind. If you think about all the shows that used to be on TV, like The Cosby, D.L. Hughley, Parenthood, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Martin, they all have like historically black college T-shirts on and stuff. But you self-consciously, you didn't really notice it, but self-consciously they were promoting college to the black community. But you know, so you didn't really know that necessarily, which is why you have some kids that go to school like, well, I don't know why you even went to school for real. But like you just know like you're supposed to go. Like you never really know why you're going, but you know you just know you're supposed to do it. But that was off topic. But
well. Going even more off topic, that makes me fearful to what reality TV shows is promoting then, because they're not promoting college
they're
or
not
anything
promoting
like
that kind of
that.
thing. And honestly, I think reality TV is like making other races look at us like, oh, they're just a bunch of animals. All they know how to do is be terrible parents and just party all night, get drunk, twerk, and all this other stuff. And like, not all of us are that way. And that's the thing that irritates me a lot with like how they portray a lot of stuff on TV. It's like not all of us are that way, and that's like BS, because like it just doesn't make sense to me that that's what they portray. But that's what people like to watch, like Love and Hip Hop and freaking what's the other one, Basketball Wives and stuff. Like that's not everybody's lives. Like and not everybody's that way.
And maybe that comes into play with Colin Kaepernick as well, because there, you know, maybe people don't understand, like, you know, his decision is well thought out. You know, as an intellectual, he researched and he found, you know, that he didn't want to do that. But you see him with the cornrows and the afro and all the tattoos, and you're like, this guy can't possibly be making this kind of a decision based off some research that he's done. He must be just hating America. He wants to be a rebel. He just don't love his country. He needs to go back to wherever he came from. You know, that type of deal. So maybe it's the package. Maybe it's not necessarily the actions or the message. But like you said, maybe it's the package that it's in, because we have been brainwashed by media images of what we think somebody should look like, or what a person who's educated looks like, what somebody who's a street guy looks like, what a rapper looks like, what a scholar looks like. So this message coming from Colin Kaepernick, somebody might not receive it as well, because they're like, okay, you're an athlete, you're a dumb jock, you got tattoos all over the place, you have no right to be diving into social issues like that.
Right, which doesn't make sense that there are people out there that would think that way. Like, oh, your opinion doesn't matter because you're an athlete. Like that you can't discredit somebody's opinion just because they're an athlete. That makes no sense.
That's true. And we don't want to discredit your opinion either. So check it out. Go ahead and make comments below. Let us know what you think. about Colin Kaepernick not standing up during the national anthem or the Pledge of Allegiance, whatever you want to call it. Hey, take care. Peace.